There's a hypothetical scenario that has gone viral online, and it has sparked a very heated debate. So here's the question. Would you rather be alone in the woods with a man or a bear? Check out how a number of women answered.
Would you rather be stuck in a forest with a man or a bear?
Bear. Man is scary.
With a bear.
What I've heard about bears, they don't always attack you, right? Unless you like with them. So maybe a bear.
Depends what man, but probably a bear.
Oh, 100% a bear, which is like terrifying to say, but
Definitely a bear. Some men are very scary out there.
a bear.
I would say a man.
So what about men? Well, here's how a self-described bear hunter answered the question when asked by his daughter. Take a look.
Would you rather me out in the woods alone by myself with a man or a bear?
I'd take the bear.
How come?
You'd have better chance with the bear because men are evil.
So DBL Nation, we always want to hear your opinion. Would you rather be alone in the woods with a man or a bear? Go to dblvote.com to weigh in. What do we think of this scenario? Erica.
I think that women don't really have agency to answer it either way. If you say that it's a bear, then people question if you hate men. If you say that you would rather be a man or rather it be a man, then people are going to ask you, well, in what case? What if it was Dahmer? What if it were Ted Bundy? Like when women are saying this straight out the gate, and this is as someone who's been very open about being a survivor, there's a very specific reason for answering these things in the moment. If I answered that and I said bear, I would be very clear as to why I'm saying bear, and it would be very specific.
Right.
And then I would have to explain why I said bear.
Right.
So that's the reason why there's absolutely no win in this question at all. But it is very alarming that so many women did say bear.
Well, I also know too, every woman that I've asked, have you ever run home in fear? Every single woman I know has said yes. Every single woman. Ask the women in your life. Have you ever run home thinking you've been followed?
I did.
Or being followed? And what did they say?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's I do a podcast, My Safe Word is More, with my homegirl Corinne, and she was just telling me about 2 incidents while she was at a major university in the South with 40,000 students, and 2 incidents in 1 year, and it's shocking. Jeff, I don't know how this hit you when you heard it, but I thought this was like a jump off to a fun, kind of goofy conversation. But what it is it's a doormat that leads to a door that a lot of guys, including myself, it's very difficult to open that door and hear the reasons why they're answering bear. I went into this kind of surprised that this was going to be the answer, but when I put together the anecdotes and the stories that I've heard from friends, women in my immediate family, women that I've been married to, it's all the same. Different generations, different ethnicities, different races, and it's all this. It's an amalgamation of the same story, and it's disturbing. And it's honestly one of the reasons that straight up I've wondered if I should send my daughter to college. I've had that thought, and I hope you realize I'm a pretty rational guy, and it's scary, and I can't imagine that I even know the half of it.
What are you thinking?
I don't know. I took it a different way too, but Erica has a very real scenario, right? So I understand her answer, but this kind of frightens me as a man of 2 young boys that I have to raise, right? That if I was out fishing with my boys, a woman hiking would be more fearful of me than a bear. I mean, this is frightening, and people wonder why I don't go out anymore for a beer. And if this is the mentality now in society, that toxic masculinity and men are more, you rather be with a bear? I mean, I understand, I totally get the logical answer because everyone has a scenario of where a man scared them or they're walking down the street. How many instances have you ever had with a bear? It's a wild animal.
Right.
Maybe I'm taking it too literally or how I feel in today's day and age, but next time you guys want to have a party and I don't be there, invite the bear.
But I think it feels a little blanketed. I find it interesting too, because if you said man, then no one would be like, well, that's an indictment on all bears.
Right.
But if you say bear, then that's an indictment somehow on all men. And I don't see it that way. I can say very clearly, as someone who has been very open about being a survivor, I do not fear all men.
Right.
But if you ask me this question and it's a answer of survival, then I am going to choose in that moment the time where I didn't necessarily survive the way that I would have.
No, I respect your answer, Erica, 100%. 100%.
An answer went viral really quickly about how one woman said, well, no one would this was a survivor who was questioned after the fact. She said, no one would question me if I was attacked by a bear. No one would question me and ask me, what were you wearing? No one would take away my autonomy of my body if I were to get pregnant by said bear. Obviously, this is all an analogy, but I think this is food for thought. It's to be understanding of the plight of women, and a lot of women have dealt with sexual assault or just the fear of being sexually assaulted. So.